Okay, so the newspapers this morning, back of the Irish Sun, don't look Baku in anger. Vinnie Perth told Dundalk's players in January to dream big. Now he expects them to live large in July. Obviously that game kicks off tonight at 6 o'clock. Wezzo jets to Oz. Wes Hoolahan is set to move down under to join A-League side Newcastle Jets. The former Ireland playmaker was training with Cambridge United in England and then obviously got a slightly better offer. I mean, Australia. Cambridge, I'm sure, is a very nice part of the world, but the opportunity to go and play Australia for a year, come on. Wes is going to be a superstar down there.
Yeah, he will be. The way he plays football, he's so intricate and just lovely passing and movement. So, and he's very fit still for, even though he's getting on a bit, but he'll enjoy it, I think.
It's Colin Calderwood is the...
Colin, yeah, I know Colin very well, actually. And I think he would have been loved to have Wes in it. And I think he spoke really highly of him after.
He did, yeah.
It
was a bit mad, because normally, like, you get snubbed by a player like Wes, who you think is kind of he's at the end of his career.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, look, man, we had this worry about like how we were going to play when we didn't have Wes in the team, because we knew we wouldn't be able to play every game. But like, we really wanted him around, and everybody, even the players, were mad keen to play with him.
He was saying how the training improved with Wes being around, with the standards he set.
Yeah, even nice. At this stage of his life.
Amazing.
Like, incredible career. Not manager anymore. That's the Mauricio Pochettino story. We'll get into those details a little bit later on. And it's another Eoin Cowser exclusive. He's having a good day. Make mine Irish. Ireland will appoint German Maren Meinert, women's boss, to replace Colin Bell. The German FA announced the underage managerial star will leave her current role with them. So that's a big appointment, and hopefully it's a signature and statement appointment being made by the FAI. And then GAA chiefs have upped the capacity for Saturday's Mayo Donegal clash at McHale Park to 27,000. Apparently it had been reduced to 25,369, below the normal threshold of 31,000, but they're going to be able to squeeze in another 1,500 or so after health and safety, after an audit was done. So that's the back of the Star today.
I'll go with the back of the Irish Daily Mail. Make a stand, it says. Dillon demands fire from fans against Donegal. This is former Mayo star Alan Dillon talking about the big game this weekend, saying you have Stephen Rochford and a depth of familiarity and knowledge of the Mayo squad and how players like to conduct themselves in these games. It will be intriguing, he says, in terms of the match itself, demanding, though, a big vociferous support from the Mayo home crowd. And Carbery Sexton access could ignite Ireland, says Shane Horgan. This is an interesting story this morning. He's talking about the possibility of Joey Carbery starting at 12 for Ireland. He's mentioned the last Lions tour and how Sexton and Owen Farrell managed to link up so well into 10-12 positions, and how that caused the All Blacks in particular a couple of problems, and how Ireland should particularly look at that and how they could utilise another out half at 12, or kind of somebody who's more used to out half at 12. Also mentions how Simon Zebo not being around the camp isn't great, and that Joe Schmidt is kind of missing a trick, not just for the quality he brings to the back three, but also to the mood he brings to the camp. He's a good guy to have around.
I've got here the Irish Daily Star, and it's big headline is first dibs, which is obviously referring to Paulo Dybala on the move to Manchester United by the looks of it, with a change for Lukaku. Again, this will probably be something which Pochettino in the top corner here, Pochettino may have had an issue with, because there was talks of Tottenham being linked with him, and I think he would have been right up their street as well. So
tell us about Dybala. Where does he play? Because there was a big debate last night in the show. The lads were wondering about whether or not he would fit into Manchester United's team, and what role does he play? What's his best role?
You would say a 10 is almost his best role, but he plays off the right coming in. He's very tricky, lovely little footballer, great to watch. I think he's a fantastic footballer, and I'd love to see him in the Premiership. But again, it just, from Manchester United, it seems like he could turn out to be a star for them, and he is a very good player, but a bit more haphazard signing. It's like we've discussed before about Liverpool and Man City, how they're clinical and they buy players exactly to fit into the structure that they want, whereas Man U seem to sign players that just, because they're very good, they'll bring them to the team, and how they're going to play in that system is going to be hard.
I think part of that also is because we don't really know what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's system is. He hasn't had an opportunity yet to display. If I had my pick and I had influence over transfer policy, these are the types of players, and this is the style of play, and this is what I'm trying to do. Like, could he play with Rashford? Is that a partnership? Or are they competing?
I think he could play with Rashford, because Rashford, I think you would think, with Lukaku gone, Rashford is going to have to be the 9, that up front player that's going to run off the shoulders, because he's so pacey and quick, and he is a striker. Now, I know he's played a lot from the left, but you would think his role this season is going to be up the middle. But then the issue you have is Pogba, because he's a midfielder, but he's a midfielder that likes to join in as well. So he almost does the 10 role as well as being a midfielder. So it's just trying to get the best of all these players. You've Mata there. It's a concoction. Like, don't get me wrong, they're on paper they're fantastic players. It's just trying to get them all to play together.
Yeah, are they a team though, as opposed to the Harlem Globetrotters? The Guardian this morning, I feel my batting confidence is at its lowest. My plan is simply to enjoy my batting again. Moeen Ali and England's Ashes plan, Australia's mentality and his own form. So obviously the build up to the Ashes. Gloves off for the Ashes. Stokes warns England they have to hit Australia hard. And then there's another picture of Paolo Dybala. There was an Italian newspaper this morning reporting that Napoli were interested in Dybala, so I don't think it's quite a done deal, and that might just be Dybala's agents trying to smooth things along.
Dane Massey is pictured on the back page of the Irish Independent there, of course, in Azerbaijan to play Karabag in the Champions League qualifiers. Mayo boost as injured trio set to return. This is great news from a Mayo perspective. Durkin, Higgins and O'Connor on course to face Donegal in Crunch Super 8's ties. So it seems that Keith Higgins is almost a certainty to come back. Durkin then has been out obviously since the qualifier contest, but the expectation is that both of them will have recovered in time for the weekend's most important game. With 3 days to go, Higgins is most likely to start. Now, team captain Diarmuid O'Connor is also making progress from a broken wrist which he sustained in training 5 weeks ago. And then you've got Matthew Ruan as well. He's not going to be available this week. He obviously broke his, or I'm not sure if he broke his collarbone, but he injured his collarbone at least. And it'll probably be later on, if they progress, that he'll come back. But it looks like they will have Higgins back. It looks like they will have Durkin back. And there's a possibility that we will see Diarmuid O'Connor back in a Mayo jersey at some point this weekend, if they get through.
Diarmuid O'Connor is surely not going to play this weekend. Not a second of game time this weekend, surely. Diarmuid O'Connor. You think he's going to play or not?
I think he could feature at some stage, is what Colm Keys is saying. If you're 1 or 2 points down, Diarmuid O'Connor is like, from what I'm saying here, if I'm reading here that he could feature at some stage in Castlebar, I think Diarmuid O'Connor is going to be named on the bench. He will make the squad. Do you use him if the game is in a melting pot?
Yeah, okay. Just hope his wrist is okay. Yeah. It's not like he can't get kicked in the wrist or, punched. It's a physical game.
It is a physical game. He could come on with just a massive cast. And it's still in a sling. One-handed Diarmuid O'Connor brings Mayo through to the next round.
Maybe,
I've got here Mirror Sport Tunnel Vision, which is obviously indicating about Dundalk in the Champions League. So big night for them in Baku, and we're all hoping obviously that they can succeed. In the corner here, you've got Jose only ready for a special job, hinting at Mourinho, who is on the lookout for a job in football, but he's saying he's only going to pick the right one for him, whether that's in the Premiership or international level, that's to be decided. And then on about Dybala and Lukaku's change, and Poch again in the corner about being a little bit disgruntled at Tottenham and calling himself the coach.
The Telegraph for you this morning, again, building up to the Ashes. Aussie nice guy image does not fool us. Stokes warns England they must hit rivals hard if they want to regain the urn. And then the interesting story down at the bottom there. Dominating the fairways, is tiger parenting the key to South Korean success? So women golfers from South Korea dominating on the LPGA Tour, and they're wondering if tiger parenting is the way to go. Competitive spirit and strong family support are reaping dividends. Nothing like a bit of casual racial profiling from the Telegraph to get your breakfast morning going.
The Irish Examiner goes with on a pedestal. Who makes Hurling's July All-Stars? John Fogarty's picked his Hurling All-Star team so far. Kieran Shannon says Cody's still bringing fire and functionality in Hurling's brave new world, while Jerry Flannery, it just didn't feel right for me to stay on with Munster. He speaks about how he still loves province, how it was a gut feeling for him to leave Munster. Doesn't really get into the ins and outs of why specifically he came to that decision and why exactly he did have that gut feeling, and maybe there'll be more to come from him over the next couple of weeks. But he also talks about the possibility of moving abroad, and that is a kind of, it seems like a big decision for Jerry Flannery at this point. Being at home, working at home, seemed like not just a convenient thing for him, but something that really suited him. And perhaps just we look at it as a very simple thing. He's going to kind of uproot and go somewhere else, but I'm not sure that's going to be the case.
The Irish Times, their lead this morning is the Darragh O'Shea column. Tyrone cannot hold anything back against Dublin. I'm going to read you the intro to this. I really wish I had Owen's dulcet Kerry tones to give you the full impact of Darragh O'Shea's column this morning. When you're around long enough, you get to hear everything eventually. I thought I was long past being surprised by anything in football. But then I heard Peter Canavan saying he reckoned Tyrone should be trying to keep a bit up their sleeve when they play Dublin on Sunday. And you know what's worse? I think he might even believe it. Can you imagine the reaction if I said that about Kerry? If they were in Tyrone's position, it would all be cute or this and yeah or that. Would anybody take it seriously? Not for a second. I mean, I would totally take it seriously that Kerry might hold something back if they were already through in the Super 8s, with the likelihood and the hope that they were going to meet them again in the It makes sense, doesn't it? There's a lot of shadow boxing going on ahead of this game.
Well, I did agree with you until I actually read the full column, and he brings up those Colm Kavanagh quotes from last year where he says that they went, 5 points to 1 up early in the game, and they were like to themselves,
let's kill them.
Oh my God, we're up against Dublin. They kind of... There was kind of a little bit of a collapse. They were like, this is Croke Park, there's 82,000 people here, we're beating the best team perhaps of all time. And they went back into their shell. Dublin scored 2-6 then for the remainder of the half. It was game over. Whereas if you win in Omagh this weekend and you beat Dublin, regardless of if it's a second string Dublin team, and you're in that same position in the All-Ireland final and you're 4 points or 5 points to 1 up, you don't collapse as much this year. You have that thing in the locker which suggests to you that you actually can beat the blue jersey of Dublin. You actually can notch a win against this team. So I think really when it comes to the mentality of it all, actually going gung-ho and beating Dublin this week has a lot going for it. I think that's a really strong idea that Darragh O'Shea's putting forward there, because before I read that column I thought Peter Canavan was bang on. It was like, there's no point even trying this week. Keep everything up your sleeve. But
Dublin might be doing the same.
It doesn't matter. Yeah. It doesn't matter. I really don't think it matters. I think actually just getting a win against that team.
The belief that you can actually beat them then, so it gives you, instills the confidence that when you go in a bigger game that you can actually win. Yeah.
That's it. I think that you can't, there is no kind of quantifiable way of measuring that. But what you do know is that Jim Gavin will have his homework done on every single eventuality for Tyrone if they meet again in the All-Ireland final. Whatever you have up your sleeve, Jim Gavin is likely to find it.
What's next?
I have Herald Sport here, and hinting at Hart facing difficult choice as Tyrone get ready for a Dublin visit. So same situation with players he's going to pick, whether he's going to field a strong team or whether they're going to go for it or not. There's an image here of Man U against the game in Norway, Kristiansund, which is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's son's team, who made his debut in the game last night, his professional debut, which would have been nice for him. And then Dundalk will dare to dream, which is obviously talking about Dundalk's game in Baku, which we're all really hoping that they can do it.
A couple of more for me. The London Times leads with Stokes talking down Warner, our big target. You've got Manchester United beginning their Dybala talks, and Pochettino saying, I'm only the coach. And then finally, Racing Post, punters give French import a vote as he heads Elliott's 5-strong challenge to smash the plate for the third and fourth year. It's all about the Galway plate this morning. And then the back page is burning ambition. Ashes rivals ready to do battle in Test Arena.
Okay, here's the Irish news this morning. So Gallagher and McEnany may join forces in Farney County. So this is an interesting story. Roy Gallagher, who has just stepped down as the manager of Fermanagh, is potentially going to join Banty.
Yeah.
Wow.
That is quite the odd marriage that they're trying to put together there in Monaghan. They probably have a very good relationship. They obviously know each other. Everybody in GAA circle seems to know each other, but that is not a story I expected to see this morning.
No, absolutely. And so can we stick that back up and try and do a bit of reading on it? So yeah, sorry, it's obviously too small.
I was going to say, get the binoculars so you might be able to see it.
We'll get a hard copy before the end of the show and look into it. Like, the thing is, if Rory Gallagher leaves the Fermanagh job, like, I didn't even read the statement, but you can pretty much take it that he left. He wasn't sacked as Fermanagh.
Oh, God, no, his reputation's enhanced.
Yeah, for sure. So he obviously has something else in mind here, and Monaghan will be a step up. Rory Gallagher now, the thing is, he's always preach this thing that he got the best out of this Fermanagh team. He played in a manner that not a lot of people liked, but I think it's a fair enough argument to say that he actually got the best out of them to a certain point. He doesn't have that excuse with Monaghan now. He will have to play a different game with Monaghan, and maybe McEnany will actually kind of, I don't know what McEnany will bring on that front. I struggle to even think what was McEnany's...
the front man, and Rory is the football brains. That's how that works. It's like...
Banty's the front man.
Yeah.
Do you think?
Yeah. That's what I would think.
I would go the other way, to be quite honest.
What?
I would have Rory Gallagher being front and centre as the manager with Banty in your backroom team?
Well, and what would Banty do in that backroom team? Because he's not noted as a genius tactician.
No, but
You're getting Rory on as your coach, and
yeah, I guess I see your point, but ultimately I'm picking which of the two would I rather have as the number one man in the dressing room. Like, who do I want to actually have as the manager? And I'd probably pick Gallagher over Banty.
That kind of the mainstay, like that will actually make the decisions. You think?
Yeah, I think
make
so.
the decisions?
I think so. But then, what does like as you say, what does Banty contribute?
I
in
think
the
we're probably
team?
saying that they're going to have the same roles, just different titles. Like,
Co-manager is the sort of Holmes and Kennelly job.
no, I think that the person responsible for the philosophy about how the team is going to play from back to front will be Rory Gallagher, and Banty will do the media and fundraising and managerial stuff.
Yeah, picking the team.
I presume that's Rory.
Then why just make a manager and forget Banty?
Well, because look,
Way overcomplicate situation.
Like I don't understand. Like, what was Wexford's philosophy a couple of years ago when Banty was in charge? What was Meade's philosophy? Like,
exactly.
I don't
You
understand.
put Rory in charge of philosophy. That's what I said.
Yeah, but like, why do you have to have Banty involved?
Because it's Monaghan, so he's the cover.
Ah, come on.
I mean, come on, what? Like, you know, the McEnanies are a
Where was their last manager from?
in football.
You don't need to have a Monaghan man to bring Monaghan to their greatest ever heights. In fact, for Monaghan just did it. So like, I just don't understand this actually. Like, this is literally just been landed on us, and I've kind of been thinking as I've been speaking here. And the more I've been speaking, the more ridiculous it actually is.
A rape by a.
It's like just make Rory Gallagher your manager and be done with it.